All right, welcome everybody. Listen, I'm super excited this evening. My name is Ruben Santiago, and I am going to be sharing with you the 5 levels of entrepreneurial growth. After 15 years in the coaching industry, one of the things that I've been able to do is map out five distinct levels. And thanks to Mr. Russell Brunson, I discovered that there's a 6th level. So we're going to be talking about that one in the book, but not here tonight. Today, what I want to do is I want to share with you some of the things on the 5 levels. Why? Because a lot of people seem to be stuck. One of the characteristics of each one of the levels, and I talk about them in the book in a little bit more detail, where it's going to help you, is the 10 key characteristics of each one of the levels. Specifically, when we're talking about what should be your primary goals for each one of those levels, as well as what are the essential skills that you need to master in each level to move to the next one, except like your mind shift, the mind shift that you got to do in order to be able to move financial realities and common mistakes that you need to avoid at each one of those levels. You're also going to discover that there are warning signs that are going to tell you that you're stuck. And you got to pay attention to those, because those are the ones that are going to keep you from going to the very next level. The same goes to say that there are things that we do to sabotage ourselves, and we want to make sure that we avoid those things. And we all do them, okay? Sometimes we do them subconsciously, only because we're not aware of them. Once you become aware, you're going to be able to see them, and they're going to be just as clear as day. When you go outside and you open and it's a bright sun, you're going to be able to see that. The same thing, you're going to know what the 3 core moves that you're going to need to make to move to the next level, as well as the KPI and metrics. So let's get started with that, because today we're going to do a little bit of a test as well. So let's take a look at some of the things that we need to do and understand, and what we call an assessment. So that's going to help you to understand what level you happen to be in. So let me share my screen over here, and I'm going to get up here in the top little corner as we go. So the 5 levels of entrepreneurial growth. My name is Ruben Santiago, and after 15 years in the coaching industry, I've been able to map out what these different levels are that are going to keep you either stuck, or now you know how to master them so you can go on to the next level. So the entrepreneurial growth assessment, we're going to go through the assessment today. Now, I'm going to make you an invitation later on so that you can book a call, so that we can actually be able to to discuss the assessment with you, to go with it, a little bit deeper and go in detail. So I'm going to ask you to grab a piece of paper, and I want you to write, numbers from 1 to 10. It's 10 questions that we're going to go through the assessment. Okay, so just like this, I want you to grab a piece of paper and write numbers 1 through 10 with a little line, if you want, right next to it, because we're going to be putting answers. We're going to actually be putting letters for the answers. We're going to have 10 questions that we are going to actually answer, and then you guys are going to understand exactly where you happen to be at. So is everybody ready? Let me know if you're ready. You got a piece of paper, you got your numbers from 1 to 10, everything's there. So here we go.
I'm ready.
You ready? Awesome. So let's go. All right, question number 1. How do you currently get clients? Okay, A is I rely on referrals or luck. B is I get clients inconsistently through manual effort. C is my team or systems help, but I still drive it. Clients come through automated systems. My brand and partnership attracts clients naturally. So whatever your answer is, let's say that your answer is B. I want you to go to your piece of paper, and then I want you to put a B on there. If it is A, put an A. Okay, whatever the answer is, I want you to do that, because this is what's going to help you to score your test at the end. So go ahead and grab your letter and put it on your piece of paper. You guys ready to go to number 2? All right, let's go to number 2. Remember, you're going to get an opportunity to book a call. That way we're going to be able to go through it with you and help you out. What happens if you take a week off? Ooh, a lot of times we want to take more than a week off, maybe 10 days, go on a vacation, 2 weeks. What's going to happen? Does everything stop? Things slow down fast. My team manages, but I can check in. Business runs fine. Business grows without me. What is that answer for you for question number 2? I want you to go ahead and put that on your sheet. We're going to grade it later, all right? How do you manage daily tasks? A, do I do everything myself? B, I use tools, but I'm still the operator. I delegate, but I'm the bottleneck. My team runs through clear systems. Or E, I focus only on visions and leadership. Okay, those are the ones that I want you to focus on, the answers to those questions, so you can put them in your sheet. Okay, how about number 4? What's your biggest challenge right now? Getting consistent clients, too much workload, no balance, letting go and trusting my team, scaling beyond operations, or expanding impact and legacy. What's your biggest challenge right now? That's question number 4. All right, now let's go to number 5. How do you handle growth decisions? A, I react, I have no plan. B, I experiment and I hope something works. C, I track data and adjust a plan strategically. Or E, I set a vision and leadership executes it. Okay, so what is it? That's question number 5. All right, so let's look at question number 6. How many people help you run your business? A, none. B, 1 to 2 part-time helpers. C, 3 to 5 consistent team members. D, a structured team with roles. E, a department head or managers. How many people help you run your business? Okay, so we're answering these questions. Now, number 7, how consistently is your revenue? Oh my God, I can't believe. How consistent is your revenue? A, up and down each month. B, some consistency, but unpredictable. C, stable with growth potential. D, predictable and recurring. E, consistent even without me. Let's take a look at those. Just make sure that you put those on your piece of paper, okay? So we have that from, we're number 7. We got 3 more to go. All right, so let's do this. How often do you invest in your own development? A, rarely. B, occasionally when I have time. C, I've started doing it more. D, regularly in masterminds or coaching. E, consistently. I mentor others too. So what is your answer to number 8? Just put it on your piece of paper. We got 2 more to go. How do you describe your leadership style? A, I don't lead anyone yet. B, I manage and I direct everything myself. C, I organize and oversee people. D, empowered my team. Okay, I empower my team to own outcomes, and I develop leaders who lead others. Right? So we got that. Let's go to the last one. Woohoo! How clear is your company's mission and vision? This is critical, guys. Does everybody in your team know it? Okay, but let's answer the question. A, I'm figuring it out. B, I have ideas, but not documented. C, my team understands what we do, but not why. D, everyone aligns with our mission. E, our culture and our brand reflect our vision daily. Okay, so go ahead and grab your piece of paper now and make sure that you can score it. All right, so grab all your A's, add them together. How many A's do you have? Add all your B's together. How many B's do you have? Add your C's together. How many C's do you have? Add your D's. How many D's do you have? Add your E's. How many E's do you have? And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab whatever the highest number is, put it aside. For example, or in this example, there are 5 A's. Okay, there are only 3 B's and there's only 2 C's. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, okay, and we're going to grab the A's. This is the very first level, okay, A, B, C, D, E. So we're going to grab that because it's going to correspond. Everybody got their scores? Okay. All right. Awesome. Perfect. So you got your scores. All right. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to grab this scores and we're going to put them on this sheet right here. And we're going to find out where we're at. In this particular case, the individual who did this test, they had 5 A's. That means that puts them at the professional level. That's the primary level that they're in. But guess what? They're doing a couple of things that puts them in the self-employed level. They're doing 3 things. They're doing 2 things that puts them in the business owner level. So now what we got to do is we got to fine tune it so that they can go from the professional level, take those 5 areas that they're in and improve them and take them to the self-employed level. Once we get all 8 of them done there, then we're going to take the collection of both of those, and then now we're going to take them to become a business owner. Once we can able to cross and check all of them out, Then we're going to move that person into the entrepreneurial level, which is another level, level number 4. And then we can go to the CEO, visionary, and founder level. All right. So that is what we're going to do. All right. Let's take a look at that. 5 levels. I am super excited, guys. It took me 15 years to map this out. Okay. Get back on camera. 15 years of talking to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I do that on a weekly basis. And I've been able to map out exactly where each one of them is at. And that's what I got in the book. Okay, I got 3 copies of it right here. So in the book, I mapped them all out. Again, I was talking about the characteristics, what should be the primary goals, what should be the essential skills that each one needs to master in each one of those levels. What is the mindset shift that we need to make to go from one level to the next, as well as understanding what the financial realities is, as well as the common mistakes that can be made. And then we're going to talk about, how most people sabotage themselves when they think that they're advancing, but really they're doing things that are holding and keeping them back, and the 3 core moves to move to the next level, as well as KPI numbers and metrics that you gotta look at on a daily basis. I look at numbers every morning. It's the first thing that I do, all right, before I do any of my other tasks. Because why? That is how you get to gauge where your business is on that particular day. So let's take a look at that again. All right, so let's go back over here. So now we got level 1, the professional. And each one of them has a nickname. I'm going to look at that here in just a second. The professional. Then we got the self-employed, the small business owner, the entrepreneur, and the CEO and founder. Once we understand where we're at, it's easy. Most people say that the professionals say, well, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, start my own business. There are levels to that. And we want to make sure that they understand where they're at. Here we go. Level 1, the professional. This is the grind phase. This is where you're testing your voice. This is where you're testing your message. There's something critical to be said about this. The professional. That is the deliverer, the hustler. That's the one that says, I want to do this extra thing on this side. Why? Because whatever it is that I'm doing right now is not enough. And I just want to go to the next step. That is where we're happen to be at right now. This is the level 1. This is the you provide, you're proving you can make things happen, but the chaos is still real. That is so true. All right. So we're going to call this the deliverer, the hustler. That's what I like to call him. Now, this are, some of the bullet points that I got on here. So let's go through some of these, because I think they're important for us to understand that if you are, okay, here we go. You're finding your voice. This is where you're still talking to people. Some people say yes, some people say no, and this is the cool part, because you're getting to know you. You're actually looking deep inside and say, what is it that I can do? What is it that I can deliver? How can I change somebody else's life? How can I coach them? How can I mentor them? How can I help them? Okay, get to where I need to go. That's where we're at when they're professional, the hustler. This is where you're just looking to deliver something to these people. So you're testing yourself on that. All right. So that is what we're doing there. So, and then, you're doing it all yourself because you're just getting started. Okay, things are working, but man, you're barely working on them, and you're making some money. Most professionals, when they're dabbling and they're starting to get started, they're anywhere between $0 to $50,000. That's what I've been able to map out. And then you can prove it that you can hustle, that you can stay up late at night, work weekends. Your family's still missing you a little bit, okay, but you're still testing yourself. All right, perfect. So we're there. Your next move is to focus, simplify, and create your very first systems. That's where we're at. Next steps: build one repeatable offer and process that delivers results consistently. Remember that as we're working on our voice, as we're trying to get this out there, there's something to be said about our offer. Okay? What is our offer? And we need to work this out. People are not buying, modules and videos and PDFs and systems and stuff. No, people are buying transformation. They're actually looking for a shortcut for what it is that they want to achieve. So if we can map out that shortcut for them and make it, so that they get it, they understand it, then we're going to move from where we happen to be at right now, from the professional, the deliverer, the hustler. Let me erase that. Okay, perfect. Now, here's where we're at. Okay, pick one niche and one clear offer. Deliver in the same way every single time. Document what works. That's your very first system. You don't need more hustle. You need structure. This is level 1. This is how you get out of level 1. And then we go to level 2. Now, remember what I mentioned earlier. I happen to work with a couple of people. I mentor a couple of people a month. Okay, it is my pleasure. This is how I get to sharpen my saw. So at the end, I'm going to give you a link. If you guys, want to see if you, we're going to go over the results that you've got. What is it that you're missing? And then, we can go through the 10 different criteria for the levels and help you if you want to move from one level to the next. Only 1 in 4 qualifies, so don't feel bad if you don't. All right. So here we go. Level 2, the self-employed. Everything still depends on you, and that's why you're exhausted. The self-employed level. This is the doer. You're still out there. You're growing a team. Maybe it's you, maybe 1 or 2 more. Maybe, even some of these people that we're talking about here, the 1 or 2 more, maybe they're actually a couple of VAs, a couple of remote VAs that are helping you do a couple of things for a couple of hours a week. All right. Now it's starting to get serious. Now you're really going from, or let me go here to this one. All right. So now you're probably going up to 150K. All right. And that is cool. And you can go above that. Now it starts to get interesting. Ooh, this is where your structure begins. Now you're starting to see that because you have structure, what you did not have in level 1, your income is increasing. Now it starts to get serious that you're going to start thinking that maybe I can quit that professional job that I have. Okay. You're booked, busy, but you're getting burned out. So we got to work on that. You got consistent clients, but you got zero freedom because you're still doing it all. Your next evolution is to document, create SOPs so that you can delegate and that you can automate some of the systems that you're working on. So you're going to get to create your very first SOPs by documenting right here. This is exactly what you're working on right now. All right. And let me go here. All right. So your next moves, document your processes, delegate low value work. This is essential. This is what you're going to give to your VAs. You automate what repeats. You're one system away from buying back your time. Guys, this is where it starts to get interesting. This is where really it starts to get to the meat of what growing a business is really all about. Okay. So let's go back over here. Oh my God. So here we go. Level 3. The business owner. This is where a lot of people want to get to. You've got a real operation, maybe a team, but things still slow down when you're not there. Do we know this? This is the manager. Okay. This is the one that you have a team. Maybe you got about 15 people, 5 to 15 people in your team. Let's do this. You got about 5 to 15 people in your team. Okay. Financials are extremely important. Now you got people. Now you got payroll. Okay, so you got to worry about your numbers a lot more. You built a real business. It's starting to look like that, but it still leans on you. So we got to work on that. All right. The path to freedom is leadership, guys. Remember that it's leadership, not more labor. It's not you working more hours, but learning how to delegate. The next step, build a team that owns the outcomes. Right. Listen, there's nothing greater than this. And I did a training. Let's stop here a little bit. I did a training a couple of weeks ago where I was talking about a DISC score. What is a DISC score? It's a personality score. All right. And, one of our, we hire people based on our DISC score. That's it. I know that different positions in the enterprise require different type of people or personality to run those. So what we've done is we've actually mapped it out. A person that needs to do this needs to be this personality type. So we require everybody to do a personality exam, and it's the little 10-question test. Once we get that back, then we know where they fit in, because there's nothing more frustrating to have the right person, the right quality person in the wrong slot. It's almost like trying to put, a round peg into a square hole. It ain't gonna work. You're both gonna be frustrated. So find the right person. That's where this comes in. Okay. So you want people that are gonna own their outcomes and transferable KPIs that are going to deliver the growth for the company that you're looking for. All right. So here we go. This level is all about leadership. Give every role crystal clear ownership. In other words, guys, listen, I cannot emphasize this anymore. The people that are in those different positions, okay, those different roles, they need to own their role. Okay, understand this. They need to own it. This is yours. This is your department. It is up to you if it fails or not. Well, do you need help? Hire the help. Empower them to look for the right people, but train them, but also make sure that you got the right person in that place too. That way they own it. That's how you buy your freedom, okay? By letting go, not by micromanaging. Okay, so we're going to learn about those things in the book. This is so cool. Okay, you get to try simple KPIs: revenue, delivery, time, client results. This is key. Client results. Okay, trust your systems more than your stress. Guys, this is key. Okay, you can let go of that if you trust your systems. Freedom lives inside the structure. I love this. I love this. And then we go into level 4, the one everybody talks about. I'm the entrepreneur. Oh, entrepreneurship. Yeah, I am an entrepreneur. That's what people, you know what? Most entrepreneurs have more arrows in their back, or, or tire marks because they've been run over by so many. Okay. But guess what? You survived. You've gotten to this level. This is all about you. Okay. Now, here we go. Let's take a look at this one. I love this one. The leader. You stepped out of operations. This is where you go. Listen, step out of operations. Now, growth depends on your leadership. Okay, not you anymore. It's really your leadership. That is a different thing. Okay, it's time to evaluate your mindset, expand your offers, and refine your culture. Can you step away? Remember, that's one of the questions that we had. Can you step away from your business? Can you step away? Okay. Can you step away for 15, 20, can you step away for 10 days? Will your business be calling you for you to solve problems where you are away? Or would they be able to solve them without you and let you know what happened when you got there? How comfortable would you feel? When you get to that level, now you know that you've empowered your people. You've created the leadership that you need to have. All right. So define your mission, hire department leaders, and scale through strategy. I love this. I love this. This is where leadership meets mindset and vision collide. Define and communicate your mission and your values. Restructure offers so they can scale without chaos, and empower others to lead them. You are now the culture. When you grow, everything grows. Remember, now you're coming into masterminds. Oh, where am I? Here we go. All right. So now you're going into mastermind. This is where leadership mindset. Here we go. When you grow, everything grows. Cool. All right. Level number 5, the CEO, visionary and founder, where success meets significant. This is where everybody wants to get to, but you got to struggle for all the other ones. This is where the visionary is. This is where you have a vision of where you're going to get your company. Now you got more than 15 people. Now you got to see, get about on here. Okay, so now you got more than 15 people in your team. Financials, 2 million to 10 million. You build the business. Now it's about creating an impact in society. Your systems run without you. It's time to multiply your leadership. You bring more key people into the actual roles. Now you're working on leaving a legacy. Why? Because you have a vision. Now you get true freedom begins here. Document your playbook, mentor leaders, and expand. Listen, nothing feels better than to mentor a leader and to watch them grow. Okay? Now it's about multiplication. Leaders, impact, and legacy. Build leaders who build others. Listen, there's nothing greater. Okay, we're seeing that right now in our own businesses. In one of our businesses, that you have empowered somebody and he's already brought people into his own team, and they're coaching, and he's coaching the people. And I love to hearing him even using terminology that belongs to a different level, to a different level where he's at. But he's already emulating, he's already anticipating where he's going to be. So I'm watching him go through the levels psychologically. He's moving to them internally, okay? Because each one of these levels can be internal. Okay, let me repeat that. Each one of these levels can be internal to your business. You need to have entrepreneurs inside your business because the mindset is different. And that's what's going to give you freedom. You need managers inside your business. Okay. You need self-employed people inside your business. Those are the people that you don't have to say anything to, and they're going to do things on their own. Why? Because they know that this is the way they got to go. Why? Because you have already laid down the vision and the mission, and they got it. Okay. So this is critical. All of these are going to be built into your business. All right. You've done the hard work. Now you get to make it last. Oh, you ready to jump onto the next level? Yes, absolutely. All right, here we go. Now, if you're serious about building a business that works without you, this is your next move. All right, schedule an assessment. Actually, going to give you guys the link in just a second, or you actually can type it cl-60.com/assessment. Okay, you guys can be there. You guys can schedule a call. We've done the test. Okay, now what you guys got to do, and let me see if I can get that link for you guys. Now, what we can do is just make a call so that we can get together. We can actually let me get that link for you guys. And now what we can do is that we can, sit down, have a conversation, and start to map out your own business. So let me get this on here. Hey, where's my chat? Let me know if everybody can see that. Just put it in the chat. Awesome. Thank you so much. So anyhow, there's the link, cl-60.com/assessment. Okay, you're going to answer some questions on there, and then we're going to be able to get you. Remember, I mentor 3 entrepreneurs each month who want to break out of a level, and they want to do it fast. Only 1 in 4 qualify for one of these private mentorship spots. Okay, so not everybody gets there. So schedule your assessment review, and let's have a chat about what it's going to be like for you to be able to move from whatever level you're in to the very next level. So when you get to that page, there's a little video. It's going to talk to you about a little bit more about the assessment. Then you're going to answer some questions, additional questions. Okay. And then you're going to get on my calendar, and then we're going to be able to sit down and talk. Actually, you're going to be if you qualify, you're going to be in my calendar. You're going to be talking to anybody else, nobody in my sales team, my coaching team, nothing. First of all, you're going to be talking to me. I only work with 3 people a month because we're looking to get them to the next level, so we want to my goal is to have, within a year, I want to have 1,000 testimonials that accompany this book. Okay, so right now it's 15 years worth of hard work that I've been able to map this out, and now I'm going to make it available to all of you, and it's all going to get started with the assessment. Now you know what the 5 levels are, the characteristics for each one of the levels. What should be your primary goals, what are the essential skills that you need to meet, what is that mindset shift that you need to do to go from one level to the next, what are the financial realities of each one, because each one has financial realities, common mistakes that you want to avoid. And additionally, you're going to discover what are those warning signs that you're stuck on a level. A lot of times we don't even realize that we're stuck because we're stuck in the grind, and because that we call it a pathway. We've been through this pathway so many times that it has gotten deep, and we got these walls next to us that we don't see to the sides anymore. So we're going to figure out how most people get to sabotage themselves. Guys, going to have that in the book as well. And then the 3 core moves that you need to do to move to the very next level, as well as your KPI numbers and metrics that you got to keep your eye on for the very next level in your entrepreneurial growth. Anyhow, my name is Ruben. It is my pleasure. It has been my pleasure to record this for to write about these different levels, and to share this information with you. Now, get in the calendar, do the assessment, figure out where you're at and what it is that you need to go to the very next level. Thank you, everybody, for being here. There it is. Schedule an assessment review. cl-60.com assessment /assessment.